The opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Invisible Wounds or Wightman. Please be aware that the content of Fireside Chats with Deborah may contain sensitive subjects such as suicide, grief, violence, PTSD, and other mental health conditions. By discussing these subjects, we will decrease stigma, bring awareness, and hope. If you need support, please reach out to trusted contacts, family, friends, call your doctor, or go to the closest emergency department. Call helplines such as Boots on the Ground at 1-833-677-BOOT. We hope this series helps build self-confidence in you. On today's show, Greg Wing, Director of Communications and Marketing, Veterans and Everyday Heroes, helping people cope. This episode of Fireside Chats with Deborah is brought to you by the Ayrshire House in Elora, Ontario. Welcome to the Ayrshire House. Refined and exceptionally welcoming, the Ayrshire House offers first-class accommodations in the historic village of Elora, where the beauty of nature blends seamlessly with the sophisticated small-town charm. The Ayrshire House offers beautifully curated accommodations fronting on the main street of the charming village of Elora. Featuring sophisticated designs and modern amenities, our 9 elegantly furnished guest rooms and suites are housed in 3 properties situated all minutes from the elegant Elora Mill and Spa, and only steps from the historic downtown and its stylish restaurants, upscale boutiques, eclectic art galleries, craft brewery and distillery, and spectacular eco-adventures. Find out more at www.ayrshirehouse.com.
Hello, it's my pleasure today to introduce Greg Wing from Veterans and Everyday Heroes, an organization that is out there and trying their very best to support veterans and first responders with any mental health challenges that they may have. Greg, welcome. I'm happy to have you here today, and I look forward to having you share with the viewers some information about your organization.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, Greg, maybe we could start out if you would please let the viewers know a little bit about the organization that you're representing today.
Yeah, so Veterans and Everyday Heroes is a not-for-profit funded organization that their whole mission is to help veterans and first responders with their mental and physical wellness. Whether that means, being able to just help them out for the one day or helping them out long term. Whatever it takes to help a veteran or first responder get through their day, we're there to help them out. So we'll raise money in order to make sure that funding is available for veterans and first responders. So if there's something that is not covered by, we'll say, normal means, we're able to help cover them for that. One of our big initiatives is our service dog initiative, right, where we'll go and we'll raise money and get a service dog for a veteran or first responder dealing with PTSD. Oh. And so that's one of our larger scale initiatives, but it goes all the way down to like something simple as just getting a cup of coffee for a veteran or first responder that's just having a bad day and needs that little pick-me-up.
All right. So does the organization have a number of individuals in it that can respond to the request for help?
Right now we have our board of directors. There's 5 of us, and we do receive a lot of calls and a lot of requests for help. And we make sure that between the 5 of us, we are able to either point them in the right direction, because maybe there's something that they're just looking for. They're looking for assistance in getting something, and we can point them in the right direction. And if not, then we can provide that funding that they need. So, for example, the horse therapy, where veterans and first responders will go and, do a camp with horses, and it'll help them with PTSD and stuff. Sometimes some, what do you call that? Their benefits and stuff will not cover them to go and take this type of therapy.
Yeah.
Whereas we'll go and we'll provide the funding for them to do that.
So when you do that, is there specific organizations that you have collaborated with? Like when you talk about equine therapy, is there certain ones that you do the referrals to, or do they, can they say to you, I'd like to go to, this one, and you would do that?
Honestly, it's a lot of it is up to the veteran or first responder.
Right.
If there's a particular place that they would like to go or get therapy from there, then by all means, we're not here to say no to any veteran or first responder. We're just trying to be there to ease their mental state so that they don't have to live with the stress of trying to go through and jump through all the different hoops in order to get the help that they need.
Right. Right. Okay. So do you find that there's a lot of veterans that are homeless that are actually reaching out to you? So
we have had some homeless veterans reach out to us. We've helped out where we can. It's not, we don't have a lot of them reaching out to us specifically.
Okay.
There are other organizations out there, and if we do get a veteran that is homeless, we know the different organizations that we can point them in the right direction to. So it'll really help them that way. But we'll be there just to help out in any way we can.
Oh, that's great. So how long's the organization been up and running?
Since about 2019. The founder went and he saw a gap in the system, right? Where veterans and first responders were busy trying to reach out and they didn't know where to reach out to, or they weren't able to get the help right away that they needed, or there was a million different hoops to jump through in order to get that help. And he's like, that's not right. It should be, I need help, can you get me help? And so that's why he founded Veterans and Everyday Heroes, so that there isn't a waiting period. There isn't a discrimination on, what possibly is the situation that has that better first responder in their current mental or physical state. And it's a very grassroots organization. We're there to help out from like the lowest common denominator up to as much as we possibly can. Okay,
good. So your catchment area is across the province, is it? Or are you basically where you're located?
We are primarily down in southwestern Ontario, but we deal with veterans and first responders all across Canada. So it doesn't matter if there's a better first responder out in PEI that needs help or someone on Vancouver Island that needs help. We'll be there to help them out.
Oh, good to know. Good to know. Yeah, it sounds like your organization is going to be spreading in numbers, so you're going to need to in order to keep it up and running.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I know that one of your individuals on the board of directors actually has a service dog. Can you explain a little bit more about that? Like whether or not you match dogs, or like what's that about?
Yeah, we don't personally match up the dogs with the veteran or first responder. I'll call him a handler in this situation. But what we do is we'll actually provide the funding. So there are organizations out there that are able to give dogs to veterans or first responders who need them. But the problem is the wait list is so long because they're in such high demand. Before I got involved with Veterans and Everyday Heroes, I went looking for a service dog for myself. And I was told that it was a 2.5-year wait before I could even be considered to get a service dog. And the training for a service dog takes a long time. It's almost 2 years just to get a dog that's prepared to be a PTSD service dog. So when I got involved with Veterans and Everyday Heroes, I talked to the founder and explained to him that I had been looking for a dog myself, and he has his own dog that has just saved his life. Like it's a repeated story that he's gone and said many, many times that, there's been situations that he's been in where if it wasn't for his dog Riggs, he wouldn't be around. And fortunately, through Veterans and Everyday Heroes, I was able to get myself my own service dog as well, Wilson, who's a absolutely fantastic golden lab or golden retriever. And as much as there's days where I want to turn him into mittens, you know, it is the best thing that's ever happened. So what we'll do is we'll just provide the funding for these other organizations that can't just give away the dogs to the veterans or first responders. And so we'll raise the money, the $20,000 to $35,000 that it takes for a service dog, and we will pay that organization to find the right dog, train that dog up to the point that it needs to be trained, so that that veteran or first responder can take that dog home and be able to live a normal life.
That's terrific. Yeah, absolutely. So if people are interested in talking with anybody on the board, is there a phone number, or how do they reach us?
Best way to reach us is through our website or through email. The website is www.v-eh.ca, and you can reach us at info@v-eh.ca.
And the other thing that I am aware of, because I've been to a conference before where you were there, is that you do sell T-shirts and things like that. And do you do that online also, or is it strictly at conferences? Or?
No, we have on our website, we have merchandise available, and that's primarily where we get a lot of our donations right now. And that's the big thing. We need to be able to sell our merchandise in order to raise the funds that is required. Because as I mentioned, a service dog is $20,000 to $35,000 a piece. And like, I know we have a couple that have called us up and asked us for dogs, and we're like, we will do the best that we can at this moment, you know, but the funds get depleted pretty quickly because there are a lot of veterans and first responders out there that need the help.
Right.
So we do that. We do straight donations. As well as right now we have a corporate sponsorship package that we've put together and put up on the website in the hopes that some corporations will like to jump on board and help us out that way.
Oh, great. Great. Well, I definitely wish us the best of luck. I think that it's a great organization, much needed. And, you know, for every first responder that you help, I mean, what can you say? It's just the best thing you can do, right?
Well, and that's the thing. That's the way we see it. Veterans and first responders have gone and put their minds and their lives on the line to go and help out individuals all across Canada, you know, without even knowing who they are.
Right.
And now it's time that that same population that has been getting the help from these heroes, they become the heroes now and help out our heroes.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just wondering, when you, just going back a bit, when you talk about people calling in and that you're able to respond to them, at this point in time, is it mostly veterans that are calling? Or,
no,
like you mentioned that you also deal with first responders, which I mean, it's all under one umbrella, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's a wide variety of different people. We've had veterans calling us. We've had first responders calling us. It's a great thing because they know that we're there and they've been able to reach out to us. And, you know, veterans tend to take a rather a more high priority in society when you look at people getting help, whereas we found that first responders, they don't seem to get the same recognition. And that's why we really put them all together. Myself and the founder were both veterans ourselves. And the founder is also a first responder. And, you know, in order to be able to reach everyone that needs help, you know, we wanted to go and make sure that we capture everybody, you know, whether it's a veteran or first responder, and, you know, they're all coming out of the woodwork. They know who we are, and they're starting to reach out and ask for help, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that's definitely. A lot of people still suffer in silence. A lot of people still have stigma around the fact that they might be struggling with some mental health challenges or illness or PTSD or PTSI, all those things. So the more help that they can get is what's needed. And I'm very thankful and grateful that your organization is up and running.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you'd like to let the viewers know before we just close off?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing that I can ask for is to spread awareness about our organization, that we are out there. We're all over social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and even TikTok. We're making little TikTok videos as well. Just try to get the information out there. Let the veterans and first responders know that we are out there. We are a tool in your tool belt that will be able to help you out. And if people are able to donate and help out these veterans and first responders, let us know. We're always looking for help. We're always looking for the donations, because it's a never-ending list of veterans and first responders that need our help.
Would you be interested in people who would like to volunteer and become part of your organization?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
I know right now we have a whole lot of events coming up that myself and the founder were pretty booked in to go in and be doing all these different events and stuff like that. And honestly, it does get a little bit tiring. We do need to break ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so once again, welcome anybody who's viewing this. If you're interested in volunteering, to give a call and get connected and help them out. Thank you, Greg, very much for attending today and for sharing the information about the organization.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you.
So, hi, my name is Dr. Yelena Chorny. I'm a physician at Homewood Health Center and Chief of Addiction and Trauma Services.
Hi everyone, my name is Carrie Mantanga and I work as the Director of Clinical Operations across our inpatient trauma and addiction services here at Homewood Health Center in Guelph. Today, Yelena and I are so excited to share with you news about changes to our Guardians program at Homewood Health Center. One of the only facilities of its kind in Canada providing inpatient treatment to our first responders, military personnel, and veterans, and uniquely tailored to the mental health needs of these groups. We have some exciting changes to the way the program is delivered that we're going to tell you about today.
For the last 3 years, we've been running the Guardians program, focusing specifically on treating first responders, military members, and veterans with operational stress or PTSD. And today we're announcing that we are actually expanding this program to be available to those communities and members of those communities who also have standalone depression, anxiety, or substance use without that operational stress or PTSD component. We're really excited to be able to offer treatment to more people in these communities, because we know that getting treatment as part of a group of people who understand what you've been through in your life really helps to make people well. So let's talk a little bit about what to expect when you come to treatment. So when you come to the Guardians program, you'll be with us for 9 weeks. You'll be in a setting on a specific unit with other members of the Guardians program. We do it this way so that you can have a sense of safety and belonging and be able to develop trust in your peers and your team to get the most out of your treatment.
We know that the therapists and the clinical staff here have much to offer you, but we also know about the power of peer connection and how important it is for the voices of other first responders and military personnel to inform your care and for you to inform theirs. There's so much for us to learn from each other.
You'll get most of your treatment in a group setting with your peers, as Carrie mentioned, but you will also get weekly individual therapy so that you can have the opportunity to dive into the issues that are important to you in a setting that feels very safe and where you can build that relationship with your therapist.
The therapeutic approaches that we use here in the Guardians program at Homewood are all evidence-based, and they really help folks to look at the beliefs they have about the things that have happened in their life, whether they're related to their work or whether they're other parts of their life, to look at those beliefs, to challenge them, to think about them more critically, and to make change that impacts not only how we think, but how we feel about ourselves, about our lives, about our jobs, and our place in the world.
When you come to the Guardians program, you'll receive care from a whole group of people who are there to help you on your journey. This includes medical professionals like physicians and nurses, and other professionals like therapists, social workers, psychologists, and occupational therapists.
We know that learning to tolerate and to cope in safe and healthy ways with overwhelming emotions is a really important part of the treatment process. So is cultivating mindfulness and developing the skills we need to be in relationship with other people in a way that's effective and compassionate and meaningful. And those are the kinds of skills that we really focus on teaching and supporting you to develop while you're here, so that those are skills that will go with you into your life and your relationships, your job, all of the places that are important to you outside of the treatment setting. Being in an inpatient treatment setting with other people who are learning and practicing those skills is a unique and important opportunity to really hone the skills before you take them with you back to your bigger life. We know that our first responders and our military personnel face extraordinary challenges in the work that they do every day, and the burden of those challenges can create the need for support and care for you who are giving so much care to us.
As folks come into our program, they come in all states. Generally what we see is a lot of folks who are coming in, for lack of a better word, defeated, broken. Their language, what we often hear is, I don't want to be a broken toy. And we don't see people as broken toys. We see people as having struggles, as having struggles and issues that interfere with their wellness and their ability to function in their personal life and in their jobs. And it's really important to us that, again, we were able to support them through that. When they come in a way that is struggling and not making eye contact and really just defeated, I've definitely seen people who lean into the work, maybe a bit apprehensive in the work, but as they start to meet us halfway, as they start really doing the work and leaning in and developing really strong connections with their staff team, with their peers, the gift of the work is that they start making eye contact, they even crack a smile, the humor comes back, the joy of life really comes back into their eyes, and that is the single greatest gift of doing this work.
If you're someone who thinks you might benefit from an intensive, structured, evidence-based program focused on the unique needs of military personnel, first responders, and veterans, please reach out to our intake team to have a conversation.
The reality is that over 85% of first responders will experience a critical incident at some point in their career. The Durham Region Critical Incident Stress Support Team is a team that's made up of volunteers of police, fire, EMS, chaplains, mental health professionals, and Crisis K-9 Unit.
My name is Jay Bonner. I'm a detective constable with the Durham Regional Police Service, and I've been a police officer for the last 20 years. What attracted me to this organization is the fact that it is 100% made up of volunteers.
Volunteers available 24/7 for peer support, debriefs, defuses, and just somebody to talk to if you need it.
The team was formulated back in 1991, and we know that peer support works. We know that talking about calls, talking about what we've experienced, will help take it from here and get it out.
You're always there for everyone else, but you have to be able to take care of yourself first before you can care for others. It's not necessarily the big calls, the big fires, the big accidents. It's all the little things that build up, and then you don't realize how it is changing you.
No matter how long we've been on the job for, whether it's 1 year or whether it's 20 years, the things that we see, things that we have to do through our job can take its toll on you.
I've been an auxiliary officer for approximately 10 years. In those 10 years, I have seen things that do stay with you and are very upsetting.
My name is Heather Clark. I've been an auxiliary constable with Durham Region Police for 2.5 years. And like Sergeant McCullough, we do see things that the average person isn't exposed to.
I can't emphasize enough that the importance of having a peer support group.
I had went to a debrief myself that was put on by this team and got that support from them. I just saw what a wonderful job they did. Both with the debrief, it made the community and family come together to give everyone a sense of the picture of what was going on. Going through something like that, it gives you the full picture and it gives you the closure that you're looking for.
Everybody deals with critical incidents different. Some people experience flashbacks, other people don't experience anything at all. Sometimes it's loss of sleep, drawing from the people who are closest to you.
Every critical incident isn't going to be critical for each individual. It's going to be based upon personal experiences. What we want to do as team members is provide them with psychological body armor. Instead of first aid, this is psychological first aid.
I volunteer on the team because I want to do my part to pay emergency services workers for the role they play in keeping us safe. Their mental health is extremely important for them to continue to protect us, and also that they can move to retirement and have a lovely retirement.
We're a support network for all first responders' families, because we know that after a crisis, our families feel it as well.
I'm one of many chaplains that represent the divine. The divine is whatever we bring into the room. It brings people help, it brings them hope in a time of critical stress, and we just sit there and listen mostly and help them along with the things that they're struggling with. The team members mainly, but those on the defuses and the debriefs also.
I've been a mom for about 4 years, and I know that after a bad call, it comes home with me, especially calls that involve kids. So it's important for me to know that it's okay to not be okay, and to know that there's a place for me to reach out when that time comes.
I'm Sue, and this is Daisy. She's my 2-year-old golden retriever, and she is a crisis canine for Durham Region Crisis Intervention Support Team. The stress that we feel and the stress that I've experienced the last 27 years make me realize that peer support is extremely important, and to let them know how you're feeling and how those calls are affecting you. Daisy is just a natural. She brings out the conversation and she reduces the stress. And that's what we're here for. We're here to help reduce that stress for those stressful situations you find yourself in.
People love the dogs. They find them calming. They've been exposed to a lot of trauma. Some of them might be shut down, so to speak, so that they have a hard time participating in diffuse and debrief situations. And the dogs will almost sense that, and they'll go up and pick those people out, sit next to them, just lay their head on their lap or something and just stare at them. And then it's funny, you see that these people, they haven't opened up in how many years, and all of a sudden they just spill the beans. And
this is Clara. She will be 13 in January, and she's been on the team for about 8 years. She is very mellow, so because of her size, she's better as a lap dog to sit on your lap and offer comfort. Feedback is always amazing, always positive. Clara has lots of followers and friends that appreciate what she does, so that's what makes my day.
Kona is a Australian Shepherd Lab mix. She is 3.5 years old, and she was actually new to the team. And research has shown that just petting the dogs during debriefs, defuses, naturally releases endorphins.
And those will help get rid of the cortisol that passes through the body. Cortisol is that stress hormone that nobody wants to have. The average person doesn't run into a fire. You're not going to have the public run towards an active shooter. It takes a very unique person, an individual, to take that type of stressor and run towards where everyone else is running from. First responders live at a heightened level of adrenaline where the cortisols are off the roof 90% of the time. And what we're doing is we're giving them tools so that they can understand and normalize it. We want to make it so that people in this career have a long career and a long, healthy career.
Invisible Wounds will host events promoting mental wellness to first responders, their families, and civilians. To find out more, please visit our website at invisible-wounds.ca.